Okay. Welcome everyone to tonight's team call. First, I really acknowledge you because it's bank holiday, and so I know it's not always a day you can jump on a team call. So it's lovely to see lots of you on, and I know why. It's you want to hear from Isaac, which I'm really excited to introduce Isaac in a few minutes. First of all, I just want to spend the first kind of 5 minutes just going through this event that doTERRA corporate are rolling out. So I'm just going to share the screen with you and get this PowerPoint up. Okay. So you've probably all heard of the We Share program. So it's doTERRA's great idea of like helping us to bring new sharers on, right? There's quite a few people in our teams that perhaps have never shared, and it's good to kind of look at the focus of that and like look at the people on your team who could perhaps just be told that they could share and just help to share with someone. So you could go and support them, whether it's helping them to host a class or just reminding them that they can earn points and free products just by sharing it with one person. So that's what the We Share program is all about. And this is a really cool idea, I think. So I think it went really well in Romania. They rolled it out in Romania and it went really, really well. And so they've kind of come up with this idea that not just the UK, so of course Europe, and of course we know our team does span Europe and also South Africa. So I really invite the South Africans to join us as well, because we can post pictures on our business group as well. It'd just be lovely to kind of feel united in that way. And so it's about joining together and setting Saturday the 23rd of September as a day where you do something to do with doTERRA. So it could be an essential oil class. You could have like an experience day perhaps with yourself, or if there's people close by that are also doing the business, or great opportunity to just get people like customers that are close to you that can come and share in the excitement. You can maybe offer them a free aroma touch that day, or simply of the sales. Maybe have a few like treats there with the oils in, or just have like products that they can come and smell and experience and look at. So it's really open. It's not just, you don't have to just do an essential oil class. That could be part of it, but it's about us all getting together in our different areas and doing something that you're excited about doing, and having kind of doTERRA corporate behind us as well. So they will help us within Europe. This will be then, if we want any kind of branding, anything like that, then we're going to get that from corporates. We can use their branding for advertising, that we can just edit. We can also, if you wanted to get anything, like if you wanted to go the extra mile and get like bandanas, t-shirts, stickers, whatever you wanted to do. So perhaps you wanted to do something in your local village hall to really raise awareness and become the doTERRA person in your area. If you haven't done that already, this would be a good way perhaps of coming out, because then you have like everything, you've got this background support from corporate. So this would all be available from the 1st of September. And this is kind of the vibe. So, often in doTERRA, yes, we are part of a team, and it can be, can feel lovely and very teamy at some points. And I know also the reality is it can feel very lonely at other points, right? You were driving to our classes by ourselves, or we're kind of holding our classes and events often by ourselves. So I see this as just a lovely kind of connection thing where you're really feeling like you're doing it together. And as we post things on Silver Blossom, everyone can see what each other are doing, and we can feel like united in that way, and that we're not alone. And I think that's a massive part of it, and get excited about what's created in that one day. And this is why you'd want to get involved. And I'm going to add it'll be fun. It'll be just fun to just do it, and like motivating. So certainly if you're someone that perhaps hasn't shared yourself particularly for a while, and you've been waiting for that moment to kind of come out and feeling a bit nervous, then this is a cool time to go, do you know what, let's do it. Everyone else is doing it, let's do it. And so to get yourself back into it, or like I say, if there's anyone on your team that's just not quite got back into it, you can say, look, this is a great opportunity, and bounce ideas off together. So work together so they feel really part of the creation of this. And then you'll get, prize draws are being taken throughout the day as well. So this is an additional support that you'll get from corporate throughout the day. So I shall put this on our Silver Blossom web Facebook page, that how you can register to take part in it, and then how you can also find out about the We Share movement as well. So there's the 2 links that I will share on Silver Blossom. Okay, so that's just something I wanted to introduce to you guys. The 23rd of September, Nathan and I already have our event booked in. We are actually going to Poland and doing an event that weekend. So we will be posting what we're doing over in Poland on that weekend, sharing, helping teach business and other things, doing a whole kind of day and a half event there. So we'll be sharing and posting what we're doing. And we'd love to hear what you guys are doing as well. So share your plans. I'll create a post on Facebook for people to kind of share their plans and ideas as well, because that will help to motivate each other and give each other ideas. So now I'd like to introduce Issac Wilson, our Managing Director of Europe, who we all absolutely love. If you've ever spoken to Wilson, you will know they go hearts from Peter already. He's just the cream of the crop, isn't he? He's just such a lovely, lovely person to speak to. So not only does he know his stuff, from the first time I heard Issac speak, I knew that he knew his stuff. He was heavily involved in doTERRA and knew what he was doing and can make things happen. And at the same time, he has that really lovely relationship skill. So he's just very good at listening. I really acknowledge you for that, for Issac, because that's not always a skill that comes with leaders, right? With core doesn't always come necessarily. And so you're really good at listening to people, and you're really good. You always go and find out the answer if you can't give it right there and then. So you really care about us as wellness advocates, and that's huge. So we feel your love. Tonight we want to hear some of your knowledge as well that you're going to share with us. You're going to answer some of the questions that you guys have been posting in the Facebook group as well. So Issac's got those questions. And I also wanted Issac to just share a little bit about where we're at in the UK and Europe, and also a bit of behind the scenes corporate, because he knows he knows the leaders of doTERRA well. So it's quite nice to hear about that too. So thank you, Issac. I will hand the time over to you. Are you okay with us recording?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Bex, for the kind introduction. Hopefully I can live up to that. But thank you, everyone else, for joining, especially on a bank holiday. I am sort of notorious on the corporate side for accidentally scheduling meetings on bank holidays, because I can never remember when these UK bank holidays are. And I blame all of you for calling them bank holidays and not giving them a real holiday name. But I appreciate, all of you coming on and making some time to talk here tonight. And I really love doing these calls, because for me, who's really intensely interested in seeing doTERRA Europe grow, you guys are really the ones making it happen. And we feel like partners with you. And so being able to answer your questions and hopefully offer some inspiration from my side, and also learn from you as well, for me, that's is really important. So I'm happy to be invited and happy to spend some time with you tonight. And some of you I know I've talked to a few times, many times. Some of you I haven't seen before. But I am, as Beck said, I'm the managing director of doTERRA Europe. I am living in Milton Keynes right now. I moved over here 2.5 years ago, and love England, love being here with all of you. I haven't developed the accent yet, but I do have 3 daughters, and one of them is 4, and she sounds like a little British girl. So we're kind of adopting some of the British culture as we spend time here, which is great. My plan is kind of to first of all, I guess, introduce myself a little bit more and a little bit of my view on doTERRA right now. As Beck said, I do spend a fair amount of time with our executive team in Pleasant Grove. I just came back from a couple weeks in Utah, where I spent a lot of time with them, with Emily, with Corey, and others. So hopefully can bring back some of those thoughts. And also last week, I spent all week with Corey in Norway. So have quite a bit of time I get to spend with them, but also kind of my own views on doTERRA and where we're going. And I'm all in on doTERRA. doTERRA is a huge part of my life, as it is for many of you. And so I'm happy to share some of my view on that. And then after, talk about the UK market for a few minutes and the way I view that. And then I will answer questions that some of you sent in, and happy to answer any questions here on the call as well, if anyone wants to ask any. And then if there's time at the end, I might ask all of you a few questions as well, if that works out. So quick background on me. I won't spend too much time because some of you know me, but I started with doTERRA 9 years ago. I studied finance and accounting, and I started on doTERRA's finance team. Never thought in a million years I would work for an essential oil company or a direct sales company. But like many of you, kind of just fell in love with doTERRA. I love the culture. I love the people. I loved what we were doing. And when a job offer came out of my internship, which was where I started with doTERRA, I couldn't think of a reason not to take it. So I started in finance, worked there for about 6 years, kind of morphed into a strategy role. And then I got a call one day to go up to Kirk's office. Kirk was our executive over Europe, and he said, "Hey, Jared, former GM of Europe, is going home. Would you like to move to England?" And I said, "Yeah," right on the spot. And here we are 3 years later. We love being here. I have 3 daughters, 7, 4, and 1, my wife, and we love this job that I have with doTERRA, and we love being in this part of the world. My passion, Bex asked me to share about that. I know it's kind of a common thing that share about on these type of calls. The truth is, my passion is building something. Like, I want to see doTERRA go from point A to point B. And there's a lot of reasons I want to see that happen, but I get a thrill out of growth and improvement, and it's fun for me to see that happen in doTERRA Europe. And there's nothing I want more than to see that happen for leaders. And I'll touch on that later. But really, when you grow, we grow, and we, even besides the financial growth that means for doTERRA, it just means so much to see leaders succeeding with what doTERRA has created. So that's really my passion, as it is most of doTERRA corporate leadership that you will ever meet. Everyone really feels that way. I thought I would mention a little bit about doTERRA's values. You might have heard these before. I don't know if I've ever said them from stage at a UK event, but I know you might have heard them at convention. I think the executive team talks about them a lot, but we recently came out with, about a year ago, 6 values that are meant to be what the corporate team is supposed to embody. And the first one is to be pure. And this came straight from Corey and Dave and Emily. And the concept is, like, as a company, we want to be pure in the way that we interact with each other, in the way the products that we sell, obviously, but really in everything that we do. And I love that about doTERRA, because I know that the intent is there. And some of you probably have run into, a situation over time where you wish doTERRA would have made a different decision or done something differently. But what I love about doTERRA is the intent to be pure is always there, and we make progress towards that. The second value is to be curious. And I love that one as well, because really what we're being encouraged to do as employees is to seek new ways to grow, new ways to support all of you, and to never get complacent in how we act. The third one is to be empowering, which is the most doTERRA word you'll hear, like empower, but that is what we want to do. We want to empower you to succeed in your business. We want to empower our corporate employees to be able to grow and develop, and that runs through the core of doTERRA. The third one, is to be customer obsessed. And this is one probably where we need to make the most progress, I think, because we need to figure out how to better make the customer experience great. And it's one of our values, and it's one of the things we're focused on the most. And it's one of the things that gets me the most excited about where we're going. The fifth one is to be leader focused. And this is at the core of doTERRA, who we are. Everyone from Corey and Emily and Mark and Greg and Doc and Dave on down, everyone wants you to succeed. And it goes so much deeper at this point than, just get more revenue and more income for the owners. I think like anyone else, they started doTERRA with the hopes of, making money, right? They wanted to, the American dream is, start a business, and they did that. But at this point, what they care about, I know for a fact, is your success and the success of our growers and the success of our employees. And so everything is, all of our discussions always end up with, well, what's best for the leader here? And I love that about doTERRA. And then the last of our values is to be the legacy. And we are trying to be a legacy company. We want to be around for forever. You might have heard Corey say this if you've tuned in the convention. We're trying to be here in 100 years. We're only 15 years old. We are just getting started if you compare us to Amway or Herbalife or some of the other bigger companies, plenty of them here in the UK. But we're trying to build a legacy. We're trying to, be around for forever so that you can benefit from doTERRA for forever as well. So that's who we are. And I know from talking to a lot of leaders that sometimes, like Beck said, it can get kind of lonely out there, especially if things are hard at the time, because you're very much, sometimes you are alone in what you're trying to do, and you may not have the support of like an office like I have when I go to work every day. But we want you to feel like we are here for you, and that these values that we're trying to uphold, they're a very real part of our job, and we're trying our best to, project them in a way that is useful to you. Speaking about the owners, I have interacted most recently, like I said, with Corey and with Emily. And I know everyone loves Emily with good reason, because she is so invested in doTERRA. And she's actually kind of notorious for scheduling like 4 events at the same time, like in 4 different places in the world, because she wants to do them all. She wants to be in Korea and Mexico and Germany and Alabama all at the same time, but she obviously can't do that, but she's amazing in what she manages to accomplish. I have seen her personally, she'll be at like an incentive trip in Mexico, and I have asked her, hey, would you join this call that I'm doing in Romania? And I'm like, I know you're in Mexico, or I didn't know at the time when I asked. She said, I'm in Mexico, but I'll join. I'll wake up at 6 a.m. And she did. So she does stuff like that all the time. I will send her a request. Hey, could you just record this video? She'll record like a 5-minute video for someone. And she just cares. She's just all in as well. She's the one, along with the others, who, if we're in a meeting and we're talking about some sort of decision we need to make for the market, she's going to say, what about the leaders? Like, have you talked to the leaders? Do the leaders like this? Those are the questions that are coming from her. And she has, I think, ingrained that in our culture. Corey is fantastic. He's been the CEO now for, I think, about a year. And he's incredible. I don't know how many of you know Corey well, but he has 8 kids, 26 grandkids, and he actually was planning to retire before Dave Sterling went away for a couple of years. And Dave said, you can't retire. I need you to come and be CEO. And I can imagine that decision must have been very hard for him, because he was, he could just spend the rest of his life with his 26 grandkids. But he decided to come back. And I think even then, it would be pretty easy just to kind of be half in, but he is 100% in. Sometimes I feel like he single-handedly drives accountability for the entire global 4,000 corporate employee organization, because he will ask questions to anyone about anything, and you just have to be on the ball all the time with Corey. One story I thought I would share about him is there was a leader who needed some help actually in Europe. This was like a few months ago. And they reached out to Corey, they had his email, and Corey copied me in and said, "Hey, Isaac, can we help this leader with this thing?" I said, "Sure, I'll take care of it." And we were working on it for a few months. And like it's probably 2 months later, Corey emails me and says, "Hey, did you take care of that?" So he doesn't forget this kind of stuff. This was a diamond in Europe, and he's got 4,000 diamonds to worry about, and he doesn't forget it. So I admire that about Corey and Emily, the other owners as well. They're great people. They started the company for all the right reasons. They're really great to work for, and they definitely have your best interest in mind, and they're working for you. And one thing I love that Corey's done recently is he's kind of put a stake in the ground and said, doTERRA, we want to be not just here for forever, but we want to be the best and the biggest direct sales company in the world. And he's kind of remarked how we have some research teams at doTERRA, and we follow pretty closely what other direct sales companies are doing. And some of them are kind of backing away from direct sales, actually. So the world of e-commerce, social commerce, influencers, all that has exploded. And some direct sellers are kind of saying, all right, we're done with this whole, unilevel, build your structure kind of thing. We're just going to appeal to just do an influencer kind of play. And, we love having influencers here, don't get me wrong, but Corey has said, we're not going away from that. We're not going away from what's made us doTERRA, which is our leaders. And so we're not changing. We're going to lean further into the model that we've established, and we're just going to make it better. And we think we can become the biggest if we do that. So the biggest, actually, many of you probably know this, but Amway is the biggest direct sales company in the world. They are about 4 times our size. They've been around for 100 years, I think, a long time. And we pretty serious about, being able to catch them. That's not really what we're thinking about day to day, but we just think, why can't we be that? And so that's what we're working towards. And I personally think if someone else can do it, why not doTERRA? We have the best products, we have the best culture, we have the best leaders, and we just think we can do it. So we're going for it, and we think it's going to be a long road for sure. And for me, it's just a huge challenge, and I love it. I think we're going to get there, and we definitely need all of you to do it. So now zooming in a little bit on the UK. No question, the UK has been a challenging market the last couple of years, and you guys know that firsthand. We were growing very rapidly in the UK from maybe 2015 to 2020, and then COVID kind of was our peak that first year of 2020, which was pretty much the same throughout the world. And then the last 2 years have been slower in terms of growth. We actually contracted a little bit, and actually, if you look at recent reports that have been put out by like the World Federation of Direct Sales Sellers, the entire UK market has actually contracted the last 2 years. So it's not just doTERRA. And when we look at that, there's a lot of reasons. I think everyone here has probably felt the inflation impact that's happened, and certainly there's some of that going on. But there is very much a silver lining to this, because we feel like we're starting to see a real uptick. And the first indicator of that for us right now is that the UK is up 10% in enrollments this year. That's all of you. That is huge, because the last 2 years we have not been up, and we are up compared to last year, and not just 2 or 3%, but 10%, which is pretty good. I was looking today and I saw that we have 75 silver plus leaders in the UK who are positive in their enrollment growth from last year. That's a pretty good number. Pretty happy about that. And some of your names I see on this call, I was looking last year, we have this report that shows the last 3 months. So we're in August now, so it'd be July, June, and May. Shows the last 3 months for this year. compared to those same months last year. And we can see how many enrollments all of you have done on your teams in that time frame. And there's so many people who did 5 last year and 12 this year, or 20 last year and 35 this year, or whatever, right? So we're seeing a lot of uptick in that, in the UK specifically, not in any other country, just looking at the UK, enrollments in the UK. So that's a good sign. We're excited. We know that for many of you, maybe the growth hasn't been as fast as you had hoped. And so I think it's going to pick up. We are working on a lot of initiatives right now to try to help that. And I'm just excited about where we're going, and think that, I mean, we think that the UK will be a huge market for doTERRA. Europe, it's about $1 billion direct sales market, and we are doing, between 16 and 20 million in the UK. So that's about, that's a small percentage fraction right now. And we think there's no reason we shouldn't take a much, much larger share, and we will over time. We have about 30,000 active customers in the UK, and about half of those are on LRP. So about, say 14, 15,000 on LRP. That's pretty good rate. Our highest market in Europe is Hungary, where we have 66% of our customers are on LRP. That's unique. So you're doing better than a lot of markets, including Germany, which is our biggest market. So nothing wrong with 50%, but room for growth there. And overall, just I am personally excited being in the UK, seeing all of you more regularly than most. This is one of my most loved markets, and I just want to see it grow. And I sense it's coming right now. And I will say as well that I imagine if I was in your shoes and I had been doing doTERRA for a while and wasn't kind of reaching my goals with it, at some point I may wonder, like, can I do this? Can I get to where I want to be? I can imagine that's a feeling many of you have had. And I don't know what it's like to be a wellness advocate. I haven't done it yet, maybe someday. But people are doing it. They're succeeding every day at this. I just looked and saw that we had 3,700 diamonds in July. Those are people paid at diamond globally. That's 3,700. So we have 5 blue diamonds, one of them actually in the UK. Many of you know her, probably Owana. I don't think she's here, but she has part of her volume in Romania, part of it here in the UK. She just hit blue diamond a month ago. So we have people succeeding, and we know not everyone's maybe trying to get to diamond or blue diamond, and that's just perfectly fine. But whatever your goal is with doTERRA, it can be reached, and I'm certainly not the expert on how to do that. There's other people here for that, but it can be done, and we're excited to see many of you get there. So with that, I'm going to go to some of the Q&A, and some of these I'll spend a little bit more time on, others. And then, like I said, after, happy to open it up for any questions that you have, and we can just have an open conversation here. No bad questions. You can beat me up as much as you would like. I've heard it all. And I just want to make it better for all of you. So if you got a problem, tell me about it, and I'll be happy to hear it. So first question was, when does the MetaPower satiety gum come to Europe? That was from Marie. We decided not to bring the gum to Europe, mostly because the Slim and Sassy gum did not sell very well at all. And we're trying to bring a lot of products to Europe. And for us, we needed to prioritize. And that was one that we felt we could go without. So currently, no plan for it. If you really, really want the gum to come to Europe, feel free to put something in the chat. And if 50 of you say that would probably weigh on me to change that decision, or even if a few of you do. But please do put stuff in the chat if you have comments. Someone also asked, when will the full MetaPower system be available in Europe? The plan is September 15th. So basically 3 weeks away. That's a little bit subject to change. I'll just be open to you. That's our planned date. We're shooting for that date. We should be able to turn it on then. And obviously, really wish we didn't have to turn it off. We were caught off guard by the demand for MetaPower. We should have ordered more in hindsight. This was a different launch than we've ever done. And we've learned a lot on how to forecast for this kind of product, but that's the reality we face with MetaPower. So we've been happy that we were able to get all the products here individually, but the system we needed to turn off to preserve stock, and we're getting comfortable to turn that back on in 3 weeks. Someone asked, why are the products out of stock? Which was a very predictable question that was going to come. And, the reality is, for to be transparent, for you to know, I mean, this should not have happened. The out of stock situation should not be something that our corporate team subjects, all of you to have to deal with. And there are a lot of reasons why it happened. The main ones are the relationship between the system and those operating the system who were planning for doTERRA Europe. There was some people who changed positions at the same time that we did a system change. And essentially that put us back several months in planning. And it should have been better managed for sure. I mean, this is my job and the job of my coworkers to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen. And now we've been battling through it for 8 months. So we're in a much better position today than we were. We had 60 products out of stock. We're down to 30. There's more SKUs than that because there's a few kits turned off, but we have about 30 products out of stock, and we've brought back most of the A products, top selling products. We would call them A products. So we're making progress. We have a lot of products that are going to turn on in September. Even this week, I know we just had Serenity soft gels turn off, and that was quite upsetting on my side to see that happen. So hoping to get those back very quickly, but we've been focused on this issue more than anything else this year. And my hope going forward, as I hope to be a long-term, corporate leader for Europe, is that we never have a situation like this again. And if we do, I expect to hear about it from this group. So you heard it from me here. We're going to do our best to not have this again. Someone asked, what's your favorite doTERRA product and why? Great question. For that one to the prior question. I thought there's so many. I think the product I fell in love with first was Deep Blue Rub, probably many people's favorites. I've since, in terms of oils, I think some of the oils I use the most are the mints, like peppermint, spearmint. I have all those right sitting on my desk for my kind of post-lunch pick-me-up, which I seem to need all the time. My daughters use the leave-in conditioner. I don't know if you all use that product. It is a fantastic product. I have no experience with hair of my own, but my daughters have hair, and as a dad, you learn how to comb your daughter's hair right for the first time, and that stuff is awesome. I use it every day on the girls when I brush their hair, and it smells great. Shampoo and conditioner is really good too. We love all those products. And then on the supplement side, I just have to put a plug in for the omega-3 products that we have. So XE Omega, which I know you're all very familiar with, but also IQ Omega. I mentioned I just spent the last week in Norway with Corey, and we were visiting our omega-3 supplier. And I think one of the things we haven't done well enough at doTERRA is talk about some of our non-oil suppliers enough, because these guys are great. I mean, they're every bit as good as our Kenya, sourcing, or Bulgaria, or all these stories that we talk about a lot. One, they're just great people, really good people. Two, they have really good ability to trace their products. So actually, the fish oil that we get is from cod that is fished in the Nordic Sea. And the way that these guys operate is every time a fishing boat goes out, they actually track the boat, and then they know exactly where in the ocean that boat was fishing. And so they can tell you exactly where your fish omega-3 is coming from. I have kind of a history of cardiac issues in my family, so fish oil is a good one for me, and that's one of my favorite supplements. So that's all for that question. Oh, someone did ask, what product do we not have that you wish we had? Which for me would be, like many of you, probably protein powder. And so I have a vested interest in that as well, and that one's quite close to being able to launch very soon. So you can look forward to protein powder coming, and I look forward to it as well. Can we please improve the ordering system, especially for sales days? Was a question from Claire. Absolutely, and we apologize for what happened on the flash sale last week. We have had a better run. We've made a lot of progress actually on not going down on sales days. Might not feel that way to you, but we've had a couple BOGOs this year that went pretty much seamlessly. And we thought we were away from that issue. And then there was a few issues that came up last Monday. We had a lot of people on the site at the same time, far more than we should have or expected to have, and the site went down. So team got it back, and from my perspective, this is unacceptable. Shouldn't be happening for a company like doTERRA. Everyone feels that way. You've all heard this 100 times. So from my perspective, we just have to get there in terms of eliminating these from happening. And I for one, I know what happened on Monday, and that's not going to happen again. If there's other reasons that take us down, we'll see, but we're definitely trending in a better direction compared to several years ago. And I personally am optimistic that we're going to get away from these sort of events for good, where the system goes down. Nikki asked, when is Refer a Friend coming to Europe? That one we are looking at quite closely right now. It is a really great idea, and we love the idea for Europe. In terms of actual impact that it's had on the US market, it's been very limited, actually. So we've kind of watching that. It's a pretty big IT project. We'd kind of rather focus on fixing so that these sort of sales issues don't happen like happened last Monday. And so we are very actively considering it, but have not yet moved forward in implementing it. So at the earliest, it would be next year, probably in the middle of the year. That would be if we decide to go ahead with it soon. Marilyn asked, why is vegan LLV out of stock? I looked into this. This was an unfortunately managed issue, I would say, where we had 3 ingredients: coral calcium, kale leaves, and the mixed tocopherol, where all 3 of them had an issue about the same time from our vendor, where there was a delay on one supplier. One of our suppliers discontinued the ingredient. Another one changed the manufacturing requirements for that ingredient. We need to be able to manage these kind of issues so you don't have to deal with them. But the team in this case was not prepared to manage it, and so we stocked out. The good news is that vegan LLV arrived in Europe Friday, all the ingredients, and so all the bottles. So now the race is on to get them through customs and kitted and ready for sale. So it will not be long. It will probably be a couple weeks till vegan LLV is back on, and then we shouldn't have any more problems after that.
Isaac, I've just got the hand up. Miki,
Sure.
you want to say something on that? Do you have a hand up, or was that like a mistake to put your hand up? Or just want to check. Okay, that's fine. Carry on, Isaac. Sorry.
No problem. I did see someone ask why the baby range is not available in South Africa. So it looks like someone answered that, but yeah, and I do not have any jurisdiction over South Africa, unfortunately. So for that, I would be happy to put an email in if you'd like to send a question to the general manager of that market, but that one I won't be able to answer. All right, getting through a few more here. Someone asked, I think it was Zoe, will there be an elderflower essential oil? I asked that to our product team today, and they said that they have not had a request for that before, and that there's currently not one planned, but said that's really good feedback. Kind of the way we operate is if we hear, one piece of feedback, we'll take that into account. If we hear more noise around something, we might pursue it. So always good to have feedback on product ideas, and we'll take that and note it for the future. There was also a question about when pilot diffusers will be back in stock from Zoe as well. Unfortunately, right now we do not have a date for that. There was a technical issue where we had to stop selling those globally, and until that is resolved, we will not be able to sell them. So we're waiting for that, and we've been trying to get an update, but don't yet have one. So that's the latest as of today. Someone asked, where is Zendocrine Complex? And also I looked into this one today, and we turned it off several years ago for regular sale, and that was because of we started a reformulation. This was actually before I came to Europe, so I'm not sure all the reasons for that. But we have been working on the reformulation in the background for several years. And I did talk to the team today, and they said that it is scheduled to launch permanently in the market within the next few months. So we've actually brought over some from the US to sell a few times. And so you may have noticed that it was available over the past few years, but now it will be permanently available as of a few months from now. So you can look forward to that. Let me go to this chat. I noticed someone had a question.
Yeah, there's been a few questions on the chat, Isaac. Did you want me to?
Yeah, maybe I'm just catching up on it.
I'll go to the first one, and I can read them to you if you want, and then you can
sure.
Okay, so the baby range will be back, please. So I know you said South Africa, but in the UK.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, I know we'll be back. I don't have the date handy, but I know the team has been working on that.
Cool. And then Niels asked, thanks for coming on. It's good to hear that enrollments are up by 10% on last year. How are UK enrollments in relation to the growth you mentioned up until 2020?
Yeah, good question, Neil. So I think at our peak, I mean, we're still down from the peak of what we were enrolling per year. I couldn't say a number, but having looked at the numbers earlier today, I know we're still off the peak. But I do think, as a whole, we peaked so much in 2020 that coming down from that, actually, even in the UK, we've dropped a little before our 2019 level, but we're not too far off where we were in 2019. So the fact that we're 10% up makes me believe we'll get above that 2019 level. But I'd be happy to share some more numbers on that, Neil, once I have a chance to look at them.
Okay, perfect, thank you. From Heidi, I've been waiting for a refund on an order since 11th of August. So many people involved in it, and it's getting nowhere. This has put me in a state of hardship with my bank. So disappointing. The email system is not working for me anyways.
Yes, Heidi, these situations shouldn't happen. I just put my email here. It's never ideal for you to have to email me to take care of these, because we want our team to be able to support you, right? Customer service should be able to take care of these. But in situations like this, if we can learn something and improve our process, we'll do it. So please email me with that information. I will make sure it gets taken care of, and then we'll learn from it so that in the future it doesn't happen to someone else.
Perfect. And one other vote for elderflower would be amazing, says Helen.
Good.
Why is it not almond or olive oil?
Yes, good question. I just actually heard the answer to this from Corey had the answer to this. Someone asked him this while we were in Norway, and I can't remember. But what I can say is that we have been considering other carrier oils for a long time, and I know olive oil's pretty high on the list. So I think you will see more carrier oils coming out in the future in Europe for sure.
Okay, because I remember when I first started, I got told that the coconut oil, I can't remember who said this, but the coconut oil, the chemistry of the coconut oil, they found was the best one that didn't kind of interfere too much with the essential oils. And because the fractionated one doesn't really have a strong scent as well, that was one of the reasons that I was told.
That sounds right. I think it was largely a scent issue too. What you said there. So yeah, but I think we would all like the idea of more options there, and so we're definitely looking into that.
Okay. Will birch be available again, please? The
birch will not be available. It has methyl salicylate in it, which the European Union has taken issue with methyl salicylate. The UK, technically we could sell it right now, but the UK tends to follow the European Union with the regulations, so we won't be bringing birch to Europe, unfortunately.
Big tech issue that is not going away is when we enroll someone and if payment doesn't go through first time, it creates a customer ID, so it gets stuck. They can't enroll and they have to ring customer services first. So it makes that journey difficult.
Yeah.
So many times for Rachel.
Yeah. This one, this is frustrating because this is one we've known about, actually heard fixed, but that seems to have not been the case. So I'm going to note your name, Rachel, and I appreciate the feedback. Probably others here have experienced that too. Tell you what, this one I'm going to look into, get something to you, Bex, on the resolution, and I'd like you to pass that to this group because I know this has been a frustrating one for a lot of people, and we got to get rid of it.
Perfect. Yeah, Rachel and David, as both said, when, like, recently, was it really recent that that's happened? Can you let us know how recent that was? Would rose pure oil come back?
Pure rose, yes. Yeah, that will come back.
More as a competition, huh? I mean, it's never been, I've never known you can buy it. Although someone said, I think you could buy it at some point. I've never known that. I've just known you could win it. But have you been able to buy it, Isaac?
Yeah, you can buy it. You've been able to buy it and it will come back for purchase.
Price is £500 or something, right?
It's not cheap. Yeah.
Okay, start saving. It's a good one. I love my rose oil. What's an issue for these? Okay, yeah. I think, yeah, so Rachel said that issue was this month, early August. So yeah, it's a very current. So that's good. Then I'll pass that on to you when Isaac passes it on to me. Perfect. End of those questions. I don't know if you want to open it up for like.
Yeah, there was just a few more that I missed.
Okay.
Well, Dave asked a few good questions. Dave, I just want to acknowledge that I got those. Some of them might be better handled off this call. I'm not the biggest placements expert, unfortunately. I try to memorize everything that you guys learn every day, but there was a question about why, when there is a voluntary termination form, that the power of 3 doesn't roll up. My understanding is that it does roll up. So I would want to learn more about what you've encountered there, Dave, and maybe we can talk about that offline. Actually, if you wouldn't mind emailing me, I would love that, and then we can take up that conversation and look into that. And then the other one was, when a wellness advocate has not enrolled in years, why can't they be swapped out for someone who wants to build? Also from Dave. So Dave, if you take both of those offline, I'll be happy to talk through both of those, and we can make sure you get your questions answered.
Yeah, they were good questions, and it is like, yeah, it's a thing, because I mean, with the placing someone in, if they stop ordering for 6 months, that's the way to do it. But if they're still ordering and just not doing the business,
yeah,
that is tricky. It's tricky.
Right.
Okay, someone's got, Nikki, have you got your hand up to ask a question?
Thanks, Zach. Isaac, I just want to say placements have been amazing. The speed has been so much quicker. So I would just say that's really, really improved, because it used to be really, really slow for us. So thanks for all the speed on that. That's great. I've just got a question regarding Diamond Club. We have a lot of banking issues. I don't know if it's a UK thing or if it's a Europe thing. So, for example, someone could come along to my class. I'll be the Diamond Club lead. They could come along to my class online or in person, but it might be with one of my team members.
Yeah.
They'll then go away. They've got 3 days to sign up. They'll go away for a couple of days, and then they'll go, right, I'm ready to sign. They have to then come back to me to do the sign up. and giving me their bank cards when I don't necessarily really know them very well is hard, and it's taking so much of my time to make sure I'm speaking to them at that time I do payment, to make sure I get the verification code. Is there any other way around that at all?
Good question. Yeah, and this one has definitely come up. This might be a question, an answer I should know, but the link generator, Nikki, is that not an option? You have to remind me with that.
No, I can use the link generator as a Diamond Club lead, but my team members cannot use the link generator. So I'd prefer it the other way around, to be honest. I'd prefer not to use it myself, because I can speak to them to get the verification code. But we have lost enrollments, and it could take me an hour to get that person signed up. And yeah, we've lost people who have gone, I'm not doing this any longer. They kind of get to the point of what's going on, why is this not working with the bank, etc.
Because the bank's asking them the 3DS challenge.
Yeah, and then if we don't get that quick enough, then obviously the issue happens where the account gets registered on the system and the order hasn't even gone through. It's just a waste of time, and obviously we want to be spending our time with signing up new customers and giving them the best experience we can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's the 3DS obviously is unavoidable. We all run into that all sectors of our life now. The challenge will always be if you're trying to do the enrollment remotely, but understandably that's how they'll behave, right? They want to go away and think about it and then get in touch. So let me think. I'll take that one away, Nikki, and talk to the Diamond Club team and see if we can come up with something to improve that, because I understand the challenge there.
Yeah, because they've obviously been on my class, and then the wellness advocate is dealing with them because it's their customer, not mine, but they have to come back to me to do that process, and it's just taking up so much time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good feedback, Nikki. Thank you. I see Deborah's comment there. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, the solution is going to be something to do with link generator and the way we incorporate that into the Diamond Club link. So we'll have to look into what can be done there. Good. Any other questions before I turn it around to you?
I think another one's appeared. Okay, there was one before that actually. So we've got 4 more minutes. Let's see. So Lisa Franz asked, duplicate orders. If someone places 2 orders back to back by accident, can the system pick up on it somehow rather than send 2 duplicate orders and then we have to go through the return and refund process?
Yeah, I mean, could it be done? Yes. Will it be done? I will have to talk to our IT team. So noted. Bex, do you have the ability to get this whole chat?
Yeah.
If you could send it to me afterwards, that'll save me writing some notes right now. But yeah, I love if that's a repeat issue that you're encountering, then we will prioritize that fix. One thing we're trying to do, by the way, is we're trying to get way better at catching these IT issues before you have to. There's nothing that drives me crazy more than needing to hear about it from you on these calls, right? But as many people as we've hired to do that, and as much as we try, you're just going to encounter more than we ever can. So we'll take any feedback you got, we'll take it, we'll run it past the team, and if there's a fix that we can put in place, we'll do it, even if it takes some time.
Perfect. Thanks, Isaac. And final question, which I can also help you answer, but what happens when an advocate becomes inactive and the remaining upline doesn't keep in contact with customers, so they're left on their own? They're on LRP, but staying on 10%. They can move to someone they know and can support and help them build.
Yeah, this is a good question. I think part of the direct sales model is still a little bit imperfect is this. Right? Like, why should we have customers kind of dying on the vine, right? Where they have no support and you can't move them. And this is one that bothers me too. And this is what I can offer you for now, which is I definitely see this issue. It's a huge, I mean, if we're going to change this, it's a global change. It's coming from Corey and Emily all the way down. But one thing I always feel personally is the value of, be empowering. I do feel like Corey and Emily have empowered someone like me to be able to take feedback like this and say, we got to fix this. So if anyone has ideas on, I mean, obviously if you can just move the people, that's the fix, I guess, from your perspective. From our perspective, we have to figure out how that can be done without messing up the well-tuned financial operating model of doTERRA. But I'll take that feedback away, and it's another good piece just to hear and to know that that's something that you struggle with and that we need to fix and find a solution for.
Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, as a leader, you have your programs that support all customers underneath you. So we're there to support all our customers, and they might not get that one-on-one personal time. But now we have our continued ed drop-in sessions. So anyone on our team can come in on those and feel supported and get some personal advice if they need it. So yeah, it's not ideal for your organization, and it's our responsibility to still kind of nurture them and let them know. Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't know how easy it is to see information about those kind of people in the virtual office. I know virtual office is not perfect, but one thing we are passionate about is trying to get you reports, if it's useful for you, that has information about people like this on your team, right? So if you ever feel like I just wish this was in the virtual office, I would use this information, if you have a feeling like that, definitely pass it to Bex, and Bex pass it to me, or you have my email now, so you can email me directly as well. But yeah, we would love that feedback, because we want to get you the information that's useful to you.
Mm-hmm. Was that with reference to that question there from David, Isaac, about, because that is a bit frustrating, when you upgrade a customer, and then so when you first enroll someone, you have it tells you on the sponsor changes how many days you have left, and then when you upgrade them, that doesn't, you have to track of it yourself, and that's quite.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be cool to have on there, to have like that start again.
Yeah, good question, Dave. That's what I'm gonna have to take to the team, but really good to know that that's a challenge point. So we will look into that, and I will follow up on these, maybe just to you, Bex, so you can get it to the whole team here, but I'll definitely get back to everyone on these questions you're asking.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, we've come to the end of our time with you, Isaac. So a huge thank you. You're such an honest, open, so approachable. You really help us to feel very comfortable to ask questions, as we've seen. So thank you. And I'm sure everyone feels heard. And I will send you the chat. And then, yes, I will pass on the answers that Isaac passes to me. So thank you for your time on a bank holiday, even though you don't necessarily celebrate it.
No, thanks all of you, and best of luck with all that you're doing. Please do, reach out to me, through Bex, through whoever, if you need anything. And just know that on the corporate side, we feel far from perfect, but we just want to keep getting better to make it easier for you. And I look forward I'll be watching the UK rank advancements more closely than ever now after seeing this group, and look forward to some rank advancements.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday. Bye.